Hello, welcome to Morning Pages with Havlin Rose. I'm Havlin. This is my second channel. I have a main channel called At Havy Speaks, where I do in-depth media analysis with TV shows and movies and their political and pop culture impact in our society. But those videos are pretty serious, or not really serious, but they're really in-depth and researched. And right now I just want to pop my shit. Basically, okay. So, I've been having my thinking cap on, and I'm like, I low key want to start being a bad person. Like, this world that we live in, it's not really catered to bad bitches with intellect and empathy. You know, you would think that more bad bitches with intellect and empathy would be ruling the world, but we're really not. It's crooks and idiots and fucking skin tags who are the ones who are running this bitch. Um, and whatever, like that's that's not the point of what I wanted to make the video about. What I wanted to make the video about is self improvement and how that shit is getting on my goddamn nerves. Okay, let's talk about it. Personally, I've been in a therapy since I was 17. I'm 24 now. Couldn't even get it out. And I've been in therapy. I've been going to different therapists, since being a minor, and now I'm an adult. And like I literally just said that. Anyway, I've and through that time, I've learned a lot of like meditative practices and self-help skills and like working out and journaling and sleep hygiene and whoop de whoop this that and the third, right? And I've been practicing that. Some things have been more natural. I've always been someone who journals and someone who loves taking care of myself and documenting the way that my brain works and all that. um but the thing is like I've hit a wall, and I feel like I'm constantly hitting a wall and getting really mad at myself. I'm like, I'm doing everything right. Literally every single thing that is in line that people tell you to do. I'm not really eating that healthy though. Anyway, but for the most part, I'm cooking for myself, having veggies in my system, whatever. I'm doing all of these things that people tell you to do. And a bitch is still sad. No, riddle me that. Why am I still sad? And you're like, well, you dumb bitch. I'm just kidding. Well, Havlin, you may be like, look at the world. And I gotta be like, touche. The world is a hot mess. And obviously, I'm gonna be feeling some of that as an empathetic bad bitch, right? And I look at the news and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, oh my God. I can look at the news for 5 seconds and be like, life is meaningless, whatever, right? And I sat myself back. And like right now, the things I've been working on has been like, I can get really, really sad. I can get turned up with how sad I can be, right? There's no bottom to that pit, you know what I'm saying? But I've just been like I've been having to focus on my bouncing back, being like, even though I'm sad right now, I can make sure that I can return back to myself and elevate, right? And I got to this point where I've been focusing on elevation so much, where it's been so much of like a source of what's the word? Of like motivation for myself to elevate. And I talked about in my last video how to grow vertically versus horizontally, right? And I have been on my vertical bag, and I've been trying to even, incorporate community building. And, I try to go out every weekend, whatever. Um, but I still feel like I'm hitting a wall. And I think, America has this individualistic, vibe to it and systems to it. And part of me is like, that's getting to me, of course, I'm empathetic bad bitch. Um, but I do feel like the self improvement thing has like become a fixation of mine. And I'm like, of course, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep fixing myself, whatever the freak that means. And I have to know, like, these are things that are wrong with me, and I'm going to correct them. I've done like a video interview series on my main channel at Havy Speaks, and one of the interviewees that I had, and I think the fourth episode we were talking about how she feels like self-improvement has like almost gotten in the way of self-acceptance for them. And I was like, whoa, that's actually a bar and a half, because I do feel like there is a certain level of like, I am avoiding the fact that I'm a human, that I'm a regular ass human with regular ass issues, and that's never going to change, right? I have to be like, a bitch, you're running away from your problems. And I am a little bit. You know, I'm over here running deep in my problems, but then forgetting that like they're not going to go away permanently, or that even if I solve this issue, I'm never going to really avoid it for the rest of my life. Like nothing's ever a one and done, unfortunately. I be wanting to fight myself for real, like, you know. Um, so right now, I've been in my fuck self help bag, genuinely, because these bitches had me tired. Like, I've been reprogramming myself, my limiting beliefs and shit, and my subconscious beliefs. I've been meditating, tapping into the universe type shit. And I've been so big on that and like what I want to get, and you know where I'm going and how I'm going to be able to get what I want, you know, in a certain time or whatever. And I've just been like really being like, what's the holdup? Where's my manifestations, baby? Like, what am I going to get what I want? But unfortunately, I've realized that there's nothing external that can give me what I need in here. And you know, whatever, that's boring, cute, whatever the fuck. But I have been like, I need to tap into all my vices and then forget I never wanted to improve myself ever again. You know, because it's just like sometimes self improvement is just boring as fuck. I have to like keep up relatively safe and like precious relationships in my life. I have to bond with people over things that bring me joy instead of that bring me dread. What the fuck? What are we talking about? And it's like, of course, whatever that, it's gonna make me happy or whatever. But I'm just kind of like, I just feel like what my friend said about like self acceptance, self improvement being a way of avoiding self acceptance, has really it has been making me feel like, yeah, who am I running away from? Am I running away from anyone? Is this just like how I spend my idle time until I die? Whoa, it's existential. But I am like, what exactly is the thing that I'm chasing after? Or am I running away from something, you know? But I do feel like it's so exhausting. I feel like I see a lot of discourse about self optimization and how that can, like, you know, go into the perfectionism shit that America tries to push on us, and that no matter what we do, we're going to have to be as perfect as possible and profitable as possible, and we have to come off as models of success rather than human beings. And I really feel like I understand that point, and I really like agree with that too, that optimization of your life and your, you know, your body and yourself is like a robot. It's Corbin GBT. It feels like we're trying to get a new metadata update, you know, every couple of months. And I feel like once I know that I'm trying to get into a new part of my life or a new era, and I start to buy shit, I don't know why I put buy in quotes, I actually be buying it. When I start to buy things for it, I'm like, oh, I'm heading down a bad tunnel right now. Where I'm like, me starting to buy things, me starting to imagine myself as this new character and this new person and all of these things, and I'm gonna get this new friend, I'm gonna get this new job, and whatever, whatever. And I'm like, I just look at myself and I'm thinking about all those things, and I'm like, is that gonna fix any of my issues internally though? Is that what, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like no matter what I get externally, I've really just been like, Havlin, like, dead ass, you got to fix what's going on in there, so that when you get those things eventually, you already feel content with yourself, and it's not about, you know, obtaining certain things and getting certain goals and checking certain boxes. It's really about, may able to heal yourself.